and gentlemen,
Presenting.
Rolling.
This morning, he's not in Washington, D.C. He's on the phone from Los Angeles. Roland Martin, good morning.
Tom Sybil, Guy, good morning. Hope all is well. Yes, here in the City of Angels, and so everything is all good. Keith Jackson, the late college football announcer, had a signature statement. Whoa, Nelly. I think that could accurately describe yesterday when the news came fast and furious that, first of all, that Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's longtime attorney, pled guilty to several counts of fraud in a federal courthouse in New York, while that was happening simultaneously in Virginia. A jury came back with guilty verdict for Paul Manafort. Of course, the longtime Donald Trump campaign manager. And while that was happening, after that, then you had the Department of Justice indicting California Congressman Duncan Hunter and his wife for using $250,000 worth of campaign money for personal use. Who was Duncan Hunter? Well, he's only one of the first two members of Congress who endorsed Donald Trump for president. Oh, Tom, by the way, the other member of Congress who also endorsed Donald Trump, he also, guess what, in trouble for indicted as well. So you talk about a little indictment party going on at the White House. Joining us right now is legal analyst Monique Pressley, and I got to tell you, Monique, the Trump orbit, he had a big rally in West Virginia, made no mention of his two compadres, but this arguably was the worst day for Donald Trump's presidency.
Yes, and the best day for America, as far as I'm concerned. He would do well to not mention. Somebody needs to tell him he has the right to remain silent as an unindicted co-conspirator for all of the felonious acts of the president's men.
And one of the things that was, first of all, it was hilarious last night. Sean Hannity, instead of focusing on the the counts of guilty of Paul Manafort, he's like, oh, well, the 10 counts where the jury could not come to a conclusion, that was bad news for Robert Mueller. Hey, dude, did you skip over the 8 counts where they did agree?
Yeah.
Well, right. And as people were hashtagging, 8 is enough, right? 8 counts for Manafort, 8 counts for Cohen. And actually, the Department of Justice can retry those 10 counts where the jury hung. And Hannity's also ignoring the fact that Manafort still has to stand trial right here in the District of Columbia for some more serious offenses than the ones he was already tried for in the rocket docket in Alexandria. But as we discussed a couple of weeks ago, the thing that I am most excited and pleased about is that Cohen, as predicted, is going to be his former client's nightmare. The minute he understood that his family was at stake and that he would not get any protection from Trump because Trump only protects himself, he started singing like a canary. And we saw that yesterday because he was up for 5 years instead of what could have been 65 years. That indicates to me that there's already been some extensive cooperation.
Okay, Monique, so when's the indictments coming?
Right.
Of the president?
Well, there's not going to be any indictment of the president, Tom. I mean, we have to really forget about that and understand
Co-conspirator? That's not indictable?
Unindicted co-conspirators for state or federal crimes. According to the Department of Justice, a president should not be indicted. He should not be charged. He should not be arrested. That doesn't mean it can't happen after the fact. But as I said before, our best chance for checking this president is to vote
Thank you.
in November, put Democrats in Congress, and get this man impeached. That is the only road for Trump.
But, Monique, on that whole notion of a president can't get indicted or arrested, that was a legal guidance issued by lawyers there. So, I mean, that's not That's not actually in the Constitution or anything along those lines. But obviously, this is Trump's Department of Justice, and so they will go along with that guidance.
Well, it's not in the Constitution, and it's not in any amendment to the Constitution, but, neither is a whole lot of our criminal code. But the Department of Justice follows those guidelines, especially because they believe it would risk the security of the United States around the world to actually charge a sitting president. It makes more sense for them to release their report showing all of the things he could be charged for and allow Congress to do its job and remove the president so that there is a successive chain that can run smoothly. That's for the stability of our democracy. And right now, we need something to go according to the way that it should in this country, because we are on very shaky grounds in terms of our entire democratic process.
And Monique, do you think that
Go ahead.
Do you think that we could speed up this process if Donald Trump does try to pardon these two, or at least Manafort?
If he tries to pardon one of them while either of them right now is likely to be a witness for the government on the Mueller side of the investigation, then that would be clear obstruction. And I think it would be much harder for even the Republicans in Congress to ignore that. Also, if he tries to do anything shaky with getting rid of Rosenstein or trying to get someone to fire Mueller, that too would signal that he's doing more direct tactics in order to obstruct justice and save himself or save his family. So those are things that perhaps would shake up the Republicans, but they are so busy grabbing power right now until I'm not persuaded anything could get them to change positions.
And Monique, you posted something on Instagram yesterday where you said MAGA now stands for many are getting arrested.
Yes, MAGA.
So, Roland, has it hit the fan?
No, it's right. It's covering the fan right now. It's covering the fan. It's more splash. Yes.
It's covering?
It's covering the fan, and we won't be seeing any tweet tirades today. I doubt that very seriously.
Oh, Roland.
Legal analyst Monique Pressley, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.